Hey everyone, it's Phil Jones here, Dagger Detailing. I wanted to do a video, or I wanted to start a series, or a number of series, on kind of detailing and the different kind of sections of it. I get asked a lot of questions when people come up to me asking about like what ceramic coatings are, and they generally want to know what they're getting for their money. And sometimes there's a lot of surprise looks when I say how much it is to do, and I wanted to do a video just so people could like have an understanding of what ceramic coatings are, what they do for you, what's the difference between ceramic coatings and wax, and also the process, a brief overview of the process that occurs for you to apply ceramic coating, which therefore obviously reflects why it's a lot more expensive than just popping a bit of wax on or giving it a quick wash, right? Like a Valentine thing. So to start off with, you really need to know, well, why are we protecting the paint, okay? So new paint on new cars is not as tough as old paint. And when we say paint, you've got paint, which is the colour of your car, and then you've got the clear coat over the top, which is the protective cover that manufacturers put on the car to obviously protect it from kind of like outside elements such as salt and road and stuff. And so what we're talking, I'm actually talking about the clear coat, and the clear coat used to be quite tough, but obviously it was quite bad for the environment when it got made. It was quite made out of quite oils and stuff, and now it's more water based and better environment. So most of the new cars that come through nowadays really do require some kind of coating, some kind of top up. Okay, and there's a lot of coatings that get offered when you buy a car, especially when you're buying a new car. But I really do kind of, from my professional kind of knowledge, I would say stay away from them. Stuff like the Autogleam Life Protection. For one, there's nothing that can give you life protection, okay? Unless you're going to clear bar the whole car, and you're probably going to have to do that quite a bit of time because there's a limit on its life of that. And it's bloody expensive, that. So not many people want to do that. But so I think a ceramic coating on most cars, especially nowadays, like new cars, and old cars as well, because along with although maybe the clear coat was a little bit tougher made on the old cars, the paint generally wasn't that great. So you see a lot of like red cars fading and the cars getting deoxidized because they're a little bit more susceptible to the external kind of like drying up and that, because paint's like skin, right? Especially when people are washing it with quite harsh chemicals. But anyway, what we got protection, right? So protection goes on the top of the clear coat, and we've got wax. So wax is generally soft in nature, lasts about 12 months max, chat, and you've got to be very careful of what you wash it with. You need a really good washing technique. It can be easily scratched and easily removed if you, for example, take it to one of these quick drive-ins, Tesco car wash or something like that, where a lot of the cleaning products are of a detergent level, right, which will strip this down quite a bit. It's also it works as a level. So for example, we use this. This is your paint, and paint's got bubbles and knobs all over it because paint under a microscope is troughs and peaks. And wax, literally, you come along and you just pop over the top of it. So it's a sacrificial covering, which just sits over the top of it. It doesn't really kind of go into it. It just sits over the top of it, which is why the connection between it and the paint is not that amazing, right? Okay, but it's easy to put on, and it's, it doesn't take that much prep, right? Okay, then you've got ceramic coatings such as this Geon Synchro set, which is what I use to give you 5 years protection, right? And this, a couple of years ago, this used to give you 3 years. So you can see like things are progressing quite quickly. But this is, I don't know, 25 quid to buy, right? And you can do like so many cars if you get loads. This is probably £140 a buy, and you could probably do a car, maybe a car and a half, depending on the size of the car. Okay, so also the prep required to put the ceramic coating on is very much like painting a house or something. You wouldn't just slap it on because it probably wouldn't stay on. So you need to have the knowledge, and you need to be able to you need to wash it and get rid of all the kind of dirt off it, all the salt off it, or it needs to be clay barred, it needs to be iron removed, you need to get the iron fallout removed off it, you know, all of this stuff that comes from the sky, and you know, like all the carbon and stuff, and all the stuff that's on the road that people put on it comes and sticks to your car, which you think, oh, you wash it off and you take it down the road and they do it for a tenner. That doesn't remove it. If you run your hand over your car and it still feels rough and still feels like it's got pimples in it, it's still's got loads of stuff on it, okay? And if you run water over it, you would normally see that it doesn't run in a straight, it doesn't just run off, it trickles around like it's going around stones. And that's because your surface has still got loads of stuff on it. And that's why it's so important to prep the car. And that's why it takes so long when you prep for a ceramic coating, or you pay a detailer 700 odd quid, because it requires the prep. If you don't, you're going to lose. This won't be 5 years, this will be 1 year, but you've still paid the amount of money for it. So ceramic coatings, in essence, are really hard. Okay, so they're not soft like wax. They've got a hardness of 9H. 9H is equivalent to graphite, which obviously everyone knows that's in your pencils, and it's bloody hard stuff. Okay, really good for scratch removal. You know, that whole kind of like bush whip you get, especially in Cornwall when you have to pull over when the inmates are down there. That will protect from that, okay? It won't protect from, obviously, if you drive into a barbed wire fence, but we'll be sensible here. Obviously, nothing's probably going to protect that. And then you've got a second layer. So not all ceramics have 2 layers, but I find that Geom works very, very well. And actually, the more professional ones, the ones with a better duration, do have 2 layers. And I set on Geom because it's got really good endurance and it's never let me down. So, and the skin, which is what this is the second layer, which bonds to the first layer and gives you a really slippery, hydrophobic, i.e. water beading layer, which stops stuff sticking to it, okay, which makes it really easy to wash. It also gives this amazing gloss, which is like so much better than it comes out of the manufacturer. And people go, oh, well, how can that be? Well, because manufacturers, it's profit. You know, they want to get it out of the factory and onto the forecourt, where they pay people really cheap to come around and just wash it and scratch it and then sell it to you. I mean, how many people go around when they buy a new car with a light and check that it's the paint, what condition the paint's in? They don't. Which is why I get a load of people who come up to me and go, I'd like my brand new car, which cost me 45 grand, ceramic coated. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let's have a look at it. Why do you want to do that? It's just been bought. And then I run a light over it and it looks like someone's gone over it with a flipping scratch pad. And they're flabbergasted. And it's because like they can't afford to pay someone 250 quid, 300 quid to come around and wash each car. They pay someone 20 quid to do it. And you get what you pay for. Index. So ceramic coating, really important for protecting a new investment, I believe, especially nowadays. Wheels and stuff, the amount of wheels I take off, and they're like shiny on the outside, you take them off, flip around, and the carbon's just corroded and eating the inside of the wheel. Because carbon will. And it sticks, it gets stuck on there because of heat. Brakes produce heat. So there's loads of different ceramic coatings. There's one for glass, there's one for trim, restoration to get all that dry trim better. You know, ceramic coating, chrome, all that kind of stuff. Leather, you know, all of it requires prep. You can't just slap it on. So yeah, that is why it costs so much, because time is money. And I burn about 5,000 calories when I'm machine polishing a car. That's only, and then I've got to wash it, which takes probably about 4 hours to get all the stuff off it. Because people are like, hey, I wash it all the time. But, you know, I doubt you wash it like I do. No offense. And then you And then I had to go around and polish it, and you have to have the right tools for that. You have to have the right knowledge for it. Every single manufacturer is different. Mercedes clear coat is not the same as Ford, i.e. the reason why they're not sold the same amount. There's a reason. You do pay for that. Okay, and to do that, you need to have the skill and the confidence to cut into the paint, and that means you need polishers and cutting compounds and pads and a shitload of them. And these all work in different combinations to get that balance, to get that correct cutting compound, to get the most out of your car. And then you pretty much want it perfect. The idea is to get it perfect, looking great, looking like it's just been sprayed. Then you put the ceramic coat on. And that is ceramic coatings and waxes in a nutshell, generally, very quickly done. I could go on for quite a while about all these different things. And the plan is that I will. The plan is to do a lot more kind of media. To get my ass into gear. I'm going to be doing a lot more shows next year. A lot more going out and like meeting people and chatting to people. I've got quite a lot of people that have got some really nice special cars hidden away. And I'm going to go around and have a chat with them and have a chat about their cars and the history and what they've done to them and how they make them feel and, and all that. And kind of push this kind of detailing against depression thing that I'm pushing. Because I just think it's really, really important, and I'm very passionate about it. And also, I got the GSI back on the road, the Astra GSI, which is obviously my baby, and it's in a state, so please don't judge me as I drive it around. It's been under a tree for the last couple of months, and then my van's now gone in the garage, so I've had a few bits and bobs that I've needed to change on it, as are these things. And yeah, so it's a perfect opportunity to pretty much video each stage of a deep detail. So I'm going to rip all the ceramic coating off it by machine polishing it, and then start again and refine and refine. So looking forward to that. Hopefully that'll be helpful. And as always, if anyone's got any questions, just give me a shout. To do with detailing or to do with mental health, i.e. via my Winging It page. But yeah, some exciting things coming out in 2024. I know it's like 4 months away, but I believe in prepping and not rushing. So I hope everyone's okay, and I'll catch you later. And I hope this is helpful. So there, people. Peace.